Oh, Nick.
Hey, this is Promised Land Bench on January 8th, 2025 at 7:07 p.m. Excuse me. Jane, you and I had mentioned a possible discovery bench gathering today. I don't know if that's what you had in mind for today.
Oh, well, no, I put on the post because I recalled after. Sorry, I forgot you can't access it. That we did mention about doing the start of the year goals, a
Oh, okay.
blueprint. Yeah. And I thought that was probably more appropriate for the first one. And we could do that Discovery on Infinity and Realms next time.
Okay.
If everyone agrees. David, we could add you to the chat as well. You get to see old recordings and a discussion around possible mandates and anything else and things that have come up from actions of the bench.
Okay.
Yeah, is that okay?
Thank you.
I'll add you. Yeah. Yeah, what does everyone feel about that mandate?
Yeah, that's good, Jane. Thank you. Agree with that.
Very interesting, Jane. I was thinking in a different direction, but this is what I saw a few minutes ago. I just got a flash of a multi-stage rocket on the launch pad. Tell it's launch pad getting ready to go because it's got gases venting from it, which they don't do until a certain point. But it hasn't been launched yet. Very interesting. I think that does line up with beginning of the year goals. It
Yeah.
alerts
Yeah,
us.
we might need to launch those blueprints.
Yeah, it alerts us to there's something new up ahead. It's close, you know. Hasn't launched yet, but is already on the launch pad.
When I asked about it, there was a small scroll given for the group. It'll unfold as we either walk or kind of hold hands to spin together. I mean, however the image is, but as we go together, it'll unfold here. So
Awesome. Let me just start by facilitating us to sit down on the bench. Some of us have permanent seats on the bench, but there are visitor seats that are available. Please feel free to sit down. I'll just give you a little bit of introduction. You don't have to be a bench member to be able to function with us, nor do you have to be personally in the same identities that leadership is in. What happens is whoever is furthest along takes everybody else along with them, so that places and identities you wouldn't normally be able to function in personally, you're able to function in as part of this bench when you're visiting or even as a member. We see the bench as being circular, seated on the outside of a circular, like picnic table kind of thing, a little more formal than that, with an open center. And what we see frequently appears in the center area of the bench. We welcome all of heaven and any one or any created being or any member of the Godhead who is part of this particular mandate of helping us to see our goals for 2025 to join us, as well as any angels that are part of this assignment also. Anybody seeing anybody in particular or anything in particular that's joining us for this time? If not, it'll come along later on.
Just feel to honor all of you for your journey. And I just kind of hear God saying, I've got a lot to speak through you. Allow me to speak through you.
Yes. Anything you see, anything you sense, anything you hear? Take
Let's just
the,
open our gates. Sorry,
Yeah.
Bill.
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just open our gates and particularly faith, reverence, emotion, mind, and let's expand, get into that expanded consciousness. It's more light filled, hears better, desires the greatest blueprint.
So I think I got Yeshua here. So at first I was just seeing like apples kind of bobbing in water, but I mean, when you're opening up opening up the gates, I just kind of saw him take you can just pick the fruit out of the water. He's kind of like juggling it, and there's different kinds of fruit in the water for us there. So if I were to interpret immediately, I mean, I'd assume there's lots of stuff ready for us, fruit for this year. It's just we need to see him juggling it there, but I mean, it's kind of taking things bit by bit as we go through the year here.
Awesome.
Juggling isn't managing, I guess. There is sort of a long hall. He's seated at the front of it. That's all the details I have at the moment.
Okay. I can see gentle ripples or waves in that water that the fruit is in. I did, by the way, see the rocket launch. I'm still sensing its initial stages with all the smoke and flame and such and all the noise.
Does anyone sense we should go back over the old goals? Not that I could find the page. I do remember a couple of things. That was one thing I was saying on the chat. We've definitely got to get you back on this chat, Bill. It's crazy.
Hmm.
We should govern over that. No one's posted it. I couldn't remember what it was called. I searched goals, blueprint. Can you remember, Bill? We kept adding to this page last year. What it would be called?
I'm just taking a look to see if I've got something that I saved.
Hmm.
Probably goals.
Yeah, I searched under that. Nothing came up.
You're breaking up just a little.
Oh.
Would it be for 2024?
Well, it might not have said that. I don't know. But yes.
I've got nothing under 24. Oh, well, I've got two places to look. Let me look another place here. Nothing for 2024. Let's see, goals.
Does anyone sense we should go over the past or just look to the future?
He's going to order things. He's going to pluck some things out of the past. He is the one juggling, as in managing.
Yeah, I'm not finding anything.
That's probably our answer then.
Yeah, it's kind of practical
Yeah.
answer. We're not going to find them, so it's not be concerned about them.
Yeah. It does encourage me though, when if I see things
Yeah.
happening and for doing the goal setting.
I remember, Bill, that you mentioned something about global perspective or something with do you remember that you said?
No.
Okay. I sense the Holy Spirit and cherubim, and by Dr. O, it can be the manifestation of creation.
Ah.
When I look into that gate, you were mentioning
Manifestation of creation. I'm just going to shut off my video because I'm getting a message that may be straining the available. Yeah, that's good. It's better now. It might make the audio better too. Maybe we need to trade out of the old, Jane, and trade into the new and just start fresh.
Yeah, let's trade out of any disappointments as well and into faith. Invite the handmaiden of faith. And what I've been doing as well is just asking for one word, a list of one words, so we don't get lost in the detail. And I was able to hear for myself like about 12 different words for this year. I might want to ask that.
Well, when you said that, the first word that came to me was hope.
Oh. Oh, I just heard calling.
Oh, I like that. I'll explain that in a little while because I had revelation on that today. We'll do the list before we go back to look at that again.
Anyone else share words here or pictures?
I heard don't be concerned about numbers.
Always a test.
Few forerunners can do things that change everything. Anybody else getting an individual word or a thing you're seeing? Don't hesitate to speak it out. You've got the safety net of the bench here. If you're completely off track, we'll gently say that in a loving way, but otherwise,
a change.
Change. That is very interesting. Thank you. Takes some courage to speak out. That's good. Change.
lightning.
Oh,
What's the word? Lightning?
Yeah,
lightning. Wow.
Lightning?
What do we think we mean by that?
It is something to do with manifestation in creation. I see the lightning flash so lightning in that context.
Okay, so
Uh-huh.
it's lighting, not lightning.
Yeah, maybe it's not my native language, so like flash lightning, lightning.
Like lightning and thunder?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Do you feel that could be referring to us speaking the voice of the Father?
Could be.
When you say that, I sense Metatron, the voice of God.
Ah, ah.
I think the first word I actually had was faithfulness.
Hmm.
I got greatness.
Okay,
And I also got more encounter.
okay. Thank you, Amanda, for lightning out of the throne room. That's good.
I have a sense something large is coming. You can kind of hear that's jingly bells in the distance. I'm focusing to see what could possibly be coming if it's to be revealed at the moment.
Yeah, let's ask for very specifics.
Okay, Magi type caravan first.
Say again, Nicholas?
Magi type caravan first, the kind they
Oh,
greeted baby Jesus with. For whom I don't know yet.
that's where the jingling's coming from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Someone's still behind him. Profoundness, that may not quite be the word I'm looking for, but that is a word.
Sure.
I get the sense our destiny as a house is related to the extent of our desire.
A destiny as a house is related to our desire?
Yeah, extent of our desire.
Okay,
There's like various options. It's like, which one do you want? I'd like to know what the change is and what specifically. The large destiny is.
change is a technical term for what happens when somebody is alive and at a resurrection, you know? They're changed instead of being resurrected. If you're dead at that time, you're resurrected. If you're alive at that time, you're changed. So that's the
Mm.
first thing I thought of. Change is related with resurrection.
Yeah, do you know what's going to be? My desire is to be a greater estate.
Ah,
I believe there's like 13 estates we can live out of. And I was looking at a page on it today, and I'd sort of attempted to write a few estates down, and I was quite impressed. It needed a bit of work, but there was the bones of a framework there.
looking forward to seeing it.
It's on the website.
Okay,
Um, I'll try and copy it for you, Bill.
thank you.
There's a massive vortex kind of here, but this one's got water in the vortex too, so it's kind of water tornado, but this is to the side of the caravan if you want to go up.
So water spout,
It's fatter than that, but yes. A tornado, water tornado, yeah.
okay. Water tornado, there you go.
What does that represent?
I was just thinking what's coming behind the initial greeting, the caravan, the initial gifts is we're not going to see until we choose how big we want to go. The vortex is there to bring everything up if we want to go that high.
Is that caravan with gifts something that we should be receiving right now? Is that still sometime in the future in this year?
I don't have an answer at the moment.
The
If it's just the act of receiving, receiving faith seems to be fine.
seems to be, what's the word?
Here, let me speak words that don't have doubt on them. Give me a moment here.
Okay. Just want to point out that the Magi arriving with their caravan is a result of Christological prophecies, right? In the stars and the sky. They were able to read the Mazzaroth and where the planets were and so on, and that alerted them to Yeshua's birth. They didn't actually arrive at the time of his birth. They arrived a little later.
Uh, I'm sensing we can have a little bit now and more of the gifts later.
Okay. So then in that case, we need to receive what's available to us, excuse me, right at this moment. And be aware that there's more later to be received at a later time. Is everybody okay with going ahead and just receiving what's available right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
you.
and do that consciously, I mean, by faith, but also you may want to take a look at it. Maybe we may or may not be able to see what it is that we're receiving. We may be able to. I'm
I
sensing,
got the word tenderness as well.
okay,
Going to be a lot of like people, you're feeling a lot of tenderness from God. Not so much, huge challenge for this year.
Uh, Tenderness towards people or tenderness from people or
No, from God.
oh, from God. Okay. Yeah, I got a pen and an ink stone, and two of my angels got upgraded, but I suppose I'll be publishing this year.
wonderful. I saw I use the word casket, but not in the sense of something that carries a body. Um, a box, a fancy box. I think gold. Maybe we can use the word case.
Incense and some spices just for personal preparation on the bride's side.
I opened the case, there's a lot of light coming out of it.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is don't just do a journey into names, do a journey into estates, meaning the extent to which your body functions out of light and the different levels, whether it's perfect health, transfigured body, gold body, translocation body, those kind of things. Don't just focus on names.
Does that summarize it, Jane?
Yeah,
I meant to write Jane, pardon me. Well, let me fix it. I can't go back and edit it. So it is Jane, and then it's also Heard.
yeah.
Okay.
This symbol, I need some help interpreting, but for the group, there's kind of a big box and it's kind of casket-like, but there's kind of a Christmas wreath decorating the bottom on the outside, but I don't know if the initial sense is maybe giving us back our dead hopes and dreams and resurrecting them, but what do you see in this big black box for the group? A person gets up out of it.
That's really big, giving us back our hopes and dreams. That's the second mention of hope.
Yeah, I was just getting, before I read that, just write out words of what your desire is. So shall we just, everyone just share at least one or two? Mine is greater communication from people in the house.
Say that again, Jane?
Greater communication from people in the house.
I got it. Okay.
I mean, always more people on the bench.
So again, more people on the bench?
Yeah.
I was pondering a lot the previous day on forming communities in general, because chats, for instance, if there's 3 topics brought up, it's all linear, right? So the old stuff gets lost, and you can't reply to all 3. You only reply to 1, you know. But so the question is, how do you gather people where they're really connected, really in camaraderie, you know? And it's, but the forming communities is like little house church cell groups or whatever, just really strong, tight-knit groups here and there is something I also want to see. But the technology choices, or we got this and that, but it'll unveil itself.
No, that's a good question, Nicholas. Are we, is there another form of technology? What I was picturing when you spoke that was that it's difficult to maintain a thread of conversation or dialogue using our chats.
Yeah, for instance, if I wanted to say more on houses, I'd have to bring up something you talked about like a week ago, and or cities rather, I mean, and but it's already on a different topic on that particular chat. It's been kind of working because we had several chats, so you just have a different topic on each one. But the as far as forming real tight-knit groups where you're kind of in each other's lives, that's difficult on the chat.
Yeah.
You talked about Telegram, because Facebook sort of accommodates that more. I wish more people would join in with what I'm doing on Facebook, because you get different topics, people comment on it, and it's all contained in that one post.
So the one post has all kinds of communication about that one post and it stays on topic.
Yeah, but for some reason I can't get many people from the house to go on Facebook. They just stick to Telegram.
Think about
Yeah, I kind of treat Facebook like leprosy. I mean, at least before I got on there, but
Well, to be honest, I think that's a real old-fashioned view. I think Facebook has done a massive service to society, and I think Christians are just a bit narrow-minded to kind of call it all evil. I mean, it's allowed people to have a voice in a way that has just never been happened before, and people to connect across nations. And I I honor that contribution. Yes, it has its downsides, but to not, to just wipe it out of society, I just think it's naive. It's like people gathering in a marketplace and we as Christians saying, well, I'm not going to go there, or I'm not going to go to the pub where most people go. That's evil. And I I don't see that we go where the sinners go.
what I see is that all of the technology is infiltrated. Even the stuff that advertises the new fancy technology that advertises that's got complete security, don't be deceived. I'm sorry, the whatever the term you want to use for it, monitors all of it.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't think
yeah.
there is
Telegram.
such a thing
Mm.
as any current tech that isn't monitored by the folks that you would prefer not to see or hear what you're doing. I think
Yeah.
the only way you can avoid that is to meet physically in a room somewhere that doesn't have any electronic bugs in it.
What about email? Do you think that's monitored?
I think it all is. I'm sorry. I don't,
Yeah.
why would they allow any tech not to be monitorable? I just don't make any sense.
Wow.
So the first big desire then is to just have really tight-knit communities, the camaraderie, the unity. The unity is so strong that you die for each other or something where you have that degree of love. Now, I believe to get there, each person has to give quite a bit because then they're invested, you know?
Yeah, and when I find myself desiring community on the earth as opposed to online, and that's not a good division. I mean, they're both on earth, but I mean, local community, let's say, like somebody meeting in a room. The reason that I have that desire is because I desire what you described, Nicholas. I have that desire. And I think even as much as I've done so much online for so long, I still have a question in the back of my mind whether it's possible to have the fullness of community online that we can have in person.
Well, I think God took that desire away from me this year as I sought that and ended up being part of a local group.
Oh, yeah.
And within probably 3 to 4 months, I was getting so bored with the format
Yeah.
and the depth of conversation. And even they had a meal after, and even the meal, it was kind of like superficial. And then it just collapsed. And I think, and now I think about it, I think one of the reasons is God was showing me that, you know, it is hard to get that local depth compared to the remnant online finding each other.
Yes, that's true.
And just because you're in a room together doesn't mean that you've got deeper community.
No, it doesn't, especially if the people that you're in there with aren't at the same, don't have the same relation that you do.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
benefit of the online is the needle in each haystack locally can meet together in one group of all made up of needles, you know?
Yeah.
But I still have that desire to, get a real hug, you know?
Well, I think you can get that from friends, local friends.
Yeah, and family.
Yeah. But particularly because we've been journeying in the new wineskin for a long, long time now.
Yep.
You know, even connecting with someone who's fairly early on can feel a bit frustrating.
Well, not so much as communicating with, trying to connect with people that just don't share anything in common at all. There is a great deal of excitement and joy when you've got somebody that is doing discovery and is asking the right questions. That does really get me interested. I'm going to go back a little bit to the word calling. If you don't mind, we'll talk a little bit about some of the ones we've already chosen here, about what it might mean. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at some point, Jane, I'm going to want to know your list because I'd like to know if there's any overlap here. But there's 3 words. Called, chosen, and arrived. Someone is called, that's a calling, the upward call is the call to overcoming. someone who's chosen has overcome. They've moved from being called to actually being chosen. And then arrived, as of today, I'm seeing that arrived is when you start functioning as a son of God. Those three words. And calling is very interesting because we really have absolutely very little in common with someone who's not called. And if you get right down to it, all of us here are called. We wouldn't be here. And some of us have progressed to the point of being chosen. Thanks for the hug, Condi. So anyway, very interesting that the word called came up because I just today saw that's what that progression of called, chosen, arrived.
Yeah, it's good.
And when you say called, me myself also, the love to connect, especially in the subjects of Order of Melchizedek, engaging, and for a long, maybe years, I called forth the Order of Melchizedek in the Netherlands, and it took years that it manifested. But now there are some groups where I can join. I can't fully express where I am, but God showed me over the years there came fruit out of it.
Wonderful.
So calling forth the Order of Melchizedek, I don't know where you live exactly, but it's a frequency in the heavens, and it will be heard in the spirits or in the hearts of people who have that, also maybe not conscious that they know it, but I have found I heard feedback with people who I met, and God can lead you to it, and if you, that's a little bit inside where I've followed the Lord, but out of the Order of Melchizedek, out of a bench, you have.
So
I've seen that you have your words have significance in the heavens, and
Okay.
so called is a word to embrace or to engage with as a bench, I think so.
So you've called, and over time you've seen response to your call.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, called can be speaking any name over somebody. That can be a call.
In regards to what Dave was saying, I was seeing choice fruit, the best of the vineyard, the heavy grapes that like Caleb brought in from the promised land. Not a bunch of bunches, but the bunches we get are the best of the best and huge.
Mm.
Yeah, I looked at one of your pages today, Bill, and it was about the houses of God and about being a high priest over the house of God, but then being a great high priest over the house of Adam. And my spirit leapt at that. And I really desire to function in those two.
Awesome.
I'm, I guess, being honest with myself here, the kind of things I'd kind of implicitly given up on in the past were just like seeing like lucid dream type, like your clearest dream, seeing that clearly, and also understanding and feeling that clearly. Also, my physical eyesight healed, and any other physical issues of the body healed too. I know you all are going for immortality, which that's on the way there. But those are the kind of things I'd personally like. I just didn't hope, I guess, or I never spent time on it. But although it is available now, things like this, I don't know if they prevent me from thinking bigger because you're thinking about these immediate issues for you. Think about things like Great High Priest, you know.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Some of that stuff that's in your face all the time. There's it's Abraham, Nicholas, hoping against hope and not looking at his body being dead and not looking at Sarah's body being dead and believing that the promise of a son is going to be manifested regardless of what he's actually looking at the moment. That's Melchizedek faith, Melchizedek level faith, and it's also Melchizedek level righteousness that looks beyond the lack to see the promise. Jane, did you want to share what your list? Do you have where you can cut and paste it and put it on the chat? Okay. Let me step away for a moment. Jane, you there? I've been making a list
Oh,
of the.
sorry, I got muted. I only have my personal list
Oh, okay.
of words, but I'm happy to share those because I did wonder if some overlapped with OUB.
Yeah,
Yeah, hang on. I got it here.
thank you.
It was resurrection, renewal, hope, faith, collaboration, expansion, acceleration, new ideas, consolidation, protection of assets, stroke relationships.
Where do you
So hope similar. Resurrection similar with change.
Yep.
Expansion could be the large thing. Acceleration could be linked with greatness. We didn't have consolidation because I felt like last year I had so many things that I was starting and then were taken away. I just wanted things to be consolidated on. But you could almost say some of the courses were consolidation. I've got a reasonable uptake for those. I'd like to see evidence of growth.
Yeah, I was just thinking gladness, like seeing your children have come to you. They've grown, as you say,
Yeah.
or the imagery from the kings of the earth coming to your light. Either way, but yeah,
When
except
you
not the
say,
kings of the earth, your children.
you say evidence of growth, you're talking about evidence of personal spiritual growth.
No, not myself in sons.
No, I mean, yeah, in others, yeah.
Yeah. Well, is that about complete for that?
I think so.
Yeah, because we could do a little bit of discovery on infinity, the realms, if you want.
Let me see if I can bring up, I should be able to bring up the chart. Give me a moment here. The chart of the realms. It's on my Zoom, so I should be able to show that chart to everybody.
And I definitely agree with using the time well.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did.
this is gonna be my copy of my recently edited copy of the realms chart. Let me bring it up here. Okay, so we want to, where is the right shot? I want to share. That's what I want to do. There we go. 9 heavenly realms, and they're listed here. 6 heavenly cities, they're listed here. Each heavenly city has headship over it, and I've listed them here. Some of them I can see what they are, and some of them I don't yet know. The model for all this is New Jerusalem, which is this line here with the Lamb, New Jerusalem, and New Jerusalem is in headship over the realm of the visible creation. In other words, the heavens and the earth. And Yeshua as the Lamb, as well as those that are given that identity, are in headship over the city of New Jerusalem. That's the overall pattern for a name being in headship over a heavenly city, and a heavenly city being in headship over a specific realm. The left-hand side of the chart is eternity, and the right-hand side of the chart is infinity. I think Jane and I are in agreement at this point that God goes from left to right and then turns around and brings us back from right to left, is the way I see it being summarized right now. That's just a very brief summary of, oh, I should add that these 3 over here, that these are 6 heavenly cities up here. I don't know if you can see my pointer pointing from one to the other. That the far 3 at the left, there's no city over the eternal realm or over the realm of the beginning of his ways or the realm of his works of old. There's just holy habitation, which is one identity and place that's in headship over all 3 of these realms. Did you want to add anything, Jane? That's just a quick summary of what the chart means.
Yeah, the only question I have is it almost implies we're to move back to live in the past as opposed to living in the future.
No, I don't see it that way. I see it that these areas over here on the right are all visible. And the last 3 over on the left are invisible.
All right. Yeah, not so much past because it's out of time. It's
It's God's past,
current. Yeah.
but for us, it's something that we are going to enter into and functioning in Godship.
Yeah.
Eventually
Yeah.
comes the place of functioning in the functions that he has there with reference to invisible creation, being the angels and such.
I have
You also-
some.
Oh, go on. I was just going to say quickly, you also don't have our realm in that, Bill.
Yeah, I don't have that on here. Where would you place that, Jane?
On the right-hand side.
Right hand?
Yeah.
I have some intuition. I believe the menorah, the lampstand, which had the 7 the 6 shoots coming out of the sides of the main lampstand. That seems to be a model for this also. I'd place Holy Habitation as the center lampstand there if you combine the 3 there. But I'm seeing our realm would kind of be the combination of those kind of floating above the 7 lamps, just as an image, supported by these 7. But the lampstand, you got the flow of oil. These all support our realm in the end, if you're looking at it that way. But this is intuition I'm getting. Have you ever seen a connection between the lampstand, or at least that model of the 7 branches and the realms?
No, I hadn't, Nicholas, but it is interesting that there are 6 realms that have a heavenly city over them. But I do see that those ones on the left are actually on the left, they're not in the middle.
I've seen the lampstand related to realms.
Okay,
Hmm.
Yeah, particular if you're talking about the lampstand and the 7 spirits, I'm just observing and then sense in discernment the spirit of the fear of the Lord and the spirit of knowledge.
mhm.
The lamps, one sentence, but yeah, the lampstand, it is a pattern of creation, so it can, the pattern's repeated in many things, so it applies to things other than realms too, I believe. But go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, and what I said in the beginning, the manifestation of creation, it's that we have to play a part in that manifestation out of the realms. That's what I sense, and so you have the what I just on a personal level sense the spirit, the fear of the Lord, and the knowledge in this realm, in the 3D realm and I sense also the fear of the Lord and the spirit of knowledge in the other realms. And I'm not familiar with this picture, but I'm familiar with Ian Clayton and a lot of revelation he is given to us. But that's just I give just the information that manifestation, something is manifested, but we are part of it and manifested out of the of those realms where we're talking about. And I'm not sure where we exactly are. I know for myself that I'm introduced to the city New Jerusalem, and I am there. I feel that and to function there is another part, but that's what I'm discovering. And also it has to do something with the menorah. And each time when we're talking about the city, I see the menorah and the different functions of the 7 spirits. They are tutors for us, as far as I know the teachings from Ian Clayton. And yeah, that I feel that there's some significance in this area, what you share, Bill, and to for the coming year, also for where I am with people here in Holland. The menorah came up with the subject menorah, and for me also personally the functioning in the city of Zion. And I'm not familiar with all the terms, but I sense it's a timeline where God is putting us who are longing and functioning in the order of Melchizedek in some kind of level.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's very, it's very interesting because you don't have logical understanding of it. So you're strictly going on revelation, which is actually very good, you know? It's very helpful. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Jane, do we want to pick one particular area and do some encounter discovery? And like, for example, the infinite.
Infinity, yeah. I don't think that's what we've just really
Okay.
asked about before.
Okay, so this far right-hand side heavenly realm, it says infinite, and what I mean by that, it's the infinite realm. And what we want to do now as a bench is enter into that infinite realm and simply encounter. You don't
And
have to
the
understand
difference
what it is.
between Infinity and Zion Realm,
Yeah,
what's the difference?
okay. Well, we could look at the infinite realm first and look at the Zion realm second, and then compare and contrast by discovery. And I would urge you to turn off the logical part of your mind that analyzes the different parts of the chart and sees how things relate logically, and simply encounter the infinite realm first. So as a bench, let's enter into the infinite realm. What do you see? What do you sense? What do you feel?
What was, what is, and what will be.
Say that word again.
What was,
What was, okay.
is, and what will be.
Okay, what was and what will be.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is a place to stand on, but immediately you see the stars, shooting stars going by. So would be like Abraham being able to see the vision of what is to come. Is that the word?
Yeah.
But you stand on a rock. When I was looking at the rock, I imagined like Pride Rock, like from The Lion King, the movie, you know, where the lions are up on the rock jutting out up high. Obviously, we know what rock symbolizes normally. Uh,
Hmm.
Yeah, I saw shooting stars, Nicholas.
oh,
Like,
that's very good.
yeah, almost the same. Like, I was in space and all these shooting stars were kind of represented future possibilities. And it was like millions of them just going off at different angles, creating something new.
Yeah, this rock is a launching point. You can fly and be in space. In fact, I kind of was in space the previous encounters, but
Mm. I
Yeah,
almost think this word restoration is a bit dangerous because it gives the impression like we're just restoring everything how it was built rather than going beyond that and creating new.
hmm.
and there's a lot of color up here, especially in the stars.
A lot of color, you said?
Yeah, a lot of colors that don't exist yet.
Ah, yeah, I definitely get night sky and stars. Um, those meteors are they're not like long-term big picture things. They're more short-term, personal or exciting kind of things. I don't know how to say it any better than that. I'm just talking Christological astronomy.
You see these meteors at a distance, so up close, they're actually quite huge and very detailed and intricate.
Hmm.
But they come swiftly.
Yeah, they have a real excitement to them. It's like fireworks, you know?
Yep. Can't separate David and dancing.
No, and by the way, you can't separate Lion King from David either, right?
Yeah.
Very interesting that it's David over the city of David over the Infinite Realm. And what you saw was the Pride Rock there. That's really interesting. The Lion Pride Rock. Want to go look at the realm of Zion? Or is
Hmm.
there more to
When
the-
we did do it before, but it's been a while and probably be good.
Yeah, let's as a bench enter into the realm of Zion. I mean, erase the realm of infinity for the moment, so you're not mixing the two, and just look at the realm of Zion itself.
Hey. Got the huge mountain. I'm focused more on the inside of the mountain.
This is very governmental.
All the treasures inside the mountain, all the activity. There's even waters and little mini realms in there. And got Melchizedek.
Seeing the
Ev-
sep-
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Everything's encapsulated in the mountain. Almost. Mountain is very important, yeah.
Okay,
I'm just having my stream of thought consciousness flowing here, but go ahead, Bill.
that's good. Thank you. Anybody else? Something you're seeing or sensing or hearing?
I've got something, but I'm keen to hear anything you've got, Bill, first.
I don't know. I just had a sense of ice. A moment here. Like the sound that comes from ice sometimes. And I did see the scepter. What are you sensing, Jane?
I see the difference between creating in the infinite realm and created in Zion. That Zion is the finished product, the thing we live out of, the end game. Infinity is where we create. Because the difference between Zion and these other things of, works of old. Well, the works of old I see are that. We're not to go back into the works of old. because this is circular as well. We're to understand the works of old and know how we create, and we understand the realm of the beginning of his ways, but we're not to just stay there, nor stay in the eternal realm, because the eternal realm leads back to the creating in a circle.
Yes.
Anyways, that makes sense to me, Jane, because in the infinity, right? You got the dreams; they're all wild, they're coming. But once you get to the mountain of God here, they're under government. They have a place. There's a system to support it, to sustain it, to help them grow, and things are here, and they're ordered. They're chaotic. I mean, they're not chaotic anymore. There's rules, and it's part of the organism. It fits well, and everything builds up the mountain. The more you add into the larger the mountain gets, the kingdom rules over all. The government allows its place in creation to properly harmonize with everything.
And to take a visual summary of the two, the infinite realm is the night sky with the meteors, and Zion is the mountain. That would be the visual picture of the two realms to summarize them. Well, that's good. That's a good start on the.
It's funny because I've got back into the creation story again, which is almost like I'm really trying to understand the realm of the beginning of his ways. And
to see those three, the realm of the beginning of his ways, the realm of his works of old, and the everlasting realm. There's a verse in the Proverbs. If you put, especially put those two, the beginning of his ways and his works of old, you'll find that there is a verse that has all three of those in the one verse, and it does relate to Lady Wisdom. Give you a start on what exactly those things mean. Let me just see if I can find that verse.
I think I know which verse you mean.
Yeah, because that's the place to begin, because we have written revelation in Scripture on that verse is a place to begin. So beginning of his ways, I'll just do beginning of his ways and search, and it will come up with it doesn't. His works of old. Here we go. Proverbs 8:22. And I will bring it up. So that you can see it here. Well, there we go. Oh, yeah, got it. It's 8:23, 22 and 23. And it's Lady Wisdom that's speaking. The Lord possessed me at the beginning of his way, before his works of old. I have been established from everlasting, from the beginning, before there was ever an earth. So there's actually 4 realms mentioned in these 2 verses. And that's where that came from initially.
Yeah.
They're right there. I mean, you can underline if I had the ability to do it. The Lord possessed Lady Wisdom at the beginning of his way. It was before the Lord's works of old. And Lady Wisdom has been established from everlasting. 2 separate actions, the Lord possessing her rather, and she has been established from everlasting, from the beginning, before there was ever an earth. So that's the place to start with your understanding of those particular four realms.
Mm.
Is right there, and it has to do with wisdom. And
I also noticed, Bill, that I was thinking the city of God, meaning the city of tabernacles, was like the final goal. But now I realize it's actually holy habitation, exceeds that.
yeah, that's the
And
goal.
it's only the journey is the city of tabernacles.
I don't see the city of tabernacles on this particular chart, but I do,
I think it's the same as the city of God, according to Ian.
it might be, okay.
Mm.
When you're talking about those particular realms that are mentioned in these two verses, you need to remember that at the time that the visible creation was created, when I use the word characters, the individuals that were present at the time were God, the first person of the Trinity, the Word. So before Yeshua was even called Yeshua, the second person of the Trinity was the Word. Wisdom was present, and then the sons of God, the invisible angels called sons of God, were present. Those three individuals in one group were the ones that were all present at the time of the actual creation of the visible creation of the heavens and the earth. And this is talking about what actions God did with respect to wisdom further back in time, having to do with the invisible creation being created, I think, is my understanding. In other words,
Do you recall us ever going into holy habitation?
no, but I did do some scripture work on it. It is a biblical term. This is Ian got these things. And here you go. I just did, can you see this? I did a Bible Gateway for that term, holy habitation. And there are 5 occurrences of the term holy habitation in scripture, with the first one being found in Exodus 15:13. And if you look, these first 2 verses have your holy habitation. We'd have to look at the context to see who you is.
Oh, this is really interesting. Oh, can we get this on a page, Bill? Can you write a page on there?
I think I did at some point do a little work on this. But that, as you point out, Jane, is the goal. And it's important to realize, let me just come back to that chart, that the goal is not a realm, it's the equivalent of a heavenly city, right? Which is going to be in headship over these 3 realms. So when you're functioning in holy habitation, you're functioning in headship over these 3 realms. You're not just functioning in the realms, you're in headship over these realms. And I'm not aware of any name that's in headship over holy habitation, though there may be one name, likely is based upon the way the chart is built. Up here where these large X's are, there's probably one name that's in headship over holy habitation, which would be, my point being though, that holy habitation is a, well, it's the equivalent of a city.
So what's coming to me is, do you think, like, say you're in headship over his works of old, you're like in headship of anywhere, any sense of where that corrupt seed line like went wrong, dealing with things like that?
I can't answer that because I don't yet understand what kind of headship it is. Is it is it a husband headship over a wife or a body? Is it a father headship over a son or a house? Or is it a king headship over, you see what I'm saying? There's different kinds of headship.
No, I think it's just Godheadship.
Well, God headship, okay, yeah. that
Yeah.
makes-
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with, yeah. that makes-
Godheadship over the universe, really. Not just Earth.
Let me speak this out before I lose the sense, but this would be speaking as a son of God who was there back then. But we'd never seen such a thing. I mean, creation was wonderful, but in the holy habitation, we each had our own little domain. Everything was light, made of light back then. He'd created these things, and we each had our little spot. Okay, anyways, I'm cutting that off there, but that's all I really had. But
Okay,
the it's interesting how memories can kind of come back. But now, that kind of explains his works of old, though, because this is I didn't have a concept of not creation, you know. It's because we don't call this creation, but he it makes sense that different individuals had different scopes of authority, because even now you see territorial spirits and people in charge of different things, but
yeah,
and things whatever he did that was made out of pure light, whatever in the purely spiritual conceptual world, that I suppose that's the works of old, but
I think the works of old is probably the creation of the invisible creation, which includes all the angelic beings before they fell, but it also includes heaven, because the visible creation is the heavens and the earth. This is going to be the creation of the invisible. Can't call it creation because creation is just visible. You understand what I'm saying? And the real distinction here to understand is the difference between visible and invisible light is simply what we're able to see and what we're not able to see, right? So we're talking invisible. It's just simply invisible to our 5 human senses. And scripture does make it clear that no man has seen God, right? Though we can see God the Father, and we can see the Ancient of Days, of course, because John had revelation of seeing the Ancient of Days. So, excuse me, there are levels of godhood that are at the visible level for us, but at the very highest level, it's invisible to us. The level at which Yeshua as the Word is seated at the right hand of God, that level is invisible Godship or Godhood, whatever word term you want to use. Anyway, are we complete at this point?
And Bill,
Yes, go ahead, Dave.
a question: are we talking about the uncreated life in this the last sentences you spoke out?
Oh, I hadn't even been thinking about that. I was just thinking about visible and invisible. That's another way to look at it. That's probably
Okay.
a better way to look at it. No, I think it's probably, I'm sorry, I'm thinking it through as I'm talking, and it's probably one of those dual truths, Dave, that include both uncreated and invisible.
Yeah, I explained a little bit, but I sensed the fear of the Lord and the knowledge of God in the heavenly realms, and I can sense it also in the created world, the 3D world we live in. So I'm just learning by exploring and sensing the spirit, the 2 7 spirits I mentioned.
Yeah.
It's just revelating in my and interesting how how you put the things. Yes, thank you.
I'm so pleased, Dave, that you have the ability to do both discovery by simple encounter, which is what you're talking about. I mean, just getting revelation, but you also have the ability to logically think things out as well. Some folks
So,
don't do
yeah,
one or the other, you know, and you seem to do both, which is wonderful.
thanks. Yeah, it's just me.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm looking at you from the outside and just basically stating as a father, I'm stating that I'm pleased with what I see. It's all
Thank you.
really
Thank
doing.
you for feedback. Yes,
I'm trying to encourage you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well,
Yeah, I feel complete.
yeah, we just opened up a lot of other things that we're gonna have to discover at another time, but I think we're complete with what we can do for the moment.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. That's really helpful.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this with everybody.
Yeah, we got through a lot. And
I'm not gonna turn this off at this point because I'm going to want to go back and make record of everything that we put on the chat here on Zoom. So I'm not gonna turn this off so I won't lose that.
yeah.
So I won't leave the meeting, but each of you would can feel free to leave the meeting at this point and end it for yourself. And I will before I turn this off, I will make a written list of what we have here on the chat.
Yeah, Colleen said as well she wanted to come back. She couldn't make this week, but she's planning to come next time.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And just Dave, so you know, we've got a couple other folks that are involved. And for at least one, well, two of them let us know they weren't able to come here today. And for one, it was a scheduling after the holiday break that she didn't realize that we were actually hadn't planned a meeting today, let's put it that way. So anyway, there are more of us. Very good. Bye for now. I'm gonna turn the
Yeah.
recording
Bye,
off.
everyone. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you.
I just